Hello everyone! It is Star Wars Story here, back from the dead. I am alive, technically. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so I thought I'd start off slow. And I'm doing what I usually do, which is testing the audio first on my mobile. Yep, and all systems go. I hope you're all having a wonderful whatever you're doing, wherever you are. I've just put on some nice jazz music. I've always enjoyed jazz. Look at my guy. Look at Grandpa Talking, as I call him. He's having a nice hot cup of cocoa. He's got his bunny slippers on. He's got the right attitude. Devrin Hassan. Hello, amigo. Hello to you too. How you doing, buddy? It's good to see you again. Yeah, guys. Sorry I haven't been very communicative in a while. Yeah, cheers, Devrin. I've not actually graduated yet. That's sort of... I'm on the verge of that. But I've finished my course. Just awaiting my final grade and degree. But if everything goes well, then yeah, I should be graduating, I believe, next month or the month after. I think the month after. But I appreciate it anyway, buddy. It's been 3 years. The same length as the Clone Wars. Your streams are a little quiet. Everyone always says this. Well, then yeah, I should be graduating. But on my phone, it's fine. Next month or the month after? I think the month. The Chosen One edits. That's interesting. I'll have to have a look. I'll have to have a look at your channel. There, I've turned up my microphone. Hopefully that fixes things. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the thumbnail I chose. Yeah, I don't know. Just it seemed fitting since I feel like I've come back from the dead. What's happening? From my end, nothing much to report, man. Finished university now, 3 years, and it's done. Finito. Finished my degree. Got new people working on the micro series, including people I can't even mention because they'll get in hot water with their bosses because they are professionals from their respective industries. I've got some professionals joining the Canon edition. I'm very lucky to have them, and some of the conditions they gave me is I can't even name drop them because how it'll interfere with their actual careers. But having said that, they're really invested in the passion project. But hey, look, we got a few people. Got a few contenders. A nice sizable number. And, you know, a lot of people I don't recognize. A lot of people I do not recognize. People I do recognize and people I don't. We got Devrin, who's a lifelong friend, subscriber, you name it. JX Editor is a collaborator of the channel. I need to check out the Chosen One edits. Soul Sniper edits. Don't think I've met you before, my friend. Neither have I met you, Brandon Tran. Hello there. Night Guy, I feel I may have seen before, but my memory's that of a goldfish. But hello, Night Guy. And Darth Malins. Darth Maulins says, you did amazing for making Mace Windu for Anakin's knighthood. It looks, I like it better than the original. That's kind, man. Thank you very much. It turns out, I didn't know this. It turns out Mace was actually meant to be in the knighting scene even back then, but I guess they just forgot. So yeah, no, it was quite easy reinserting him, but the video I put in was just a concept. When it comes to putting him in the micro series, I'm going to do a much cleaner job. I'm going to show Obi-Wan's face. I'm going to show Mace Windu's face in the micro series. But I'm also going to correct Anakin's braid placement because I had to flip the image. And also, I'm going to change the shape and size of every Jedi in that room so they correspond with who's actually meant to be in the council. So, for instance, Master Peel would be a lot shorter, etc. Let's see. JX Editor says, speaking of people out of the public eye, did you manage to get in contact with Sheepish? Sheepish is a fan editor who had some really unique and radical decisions for the Phantom Menace, and then he just disappeared. Poof. Gone. And thanks to the help of JX Editor, he put me back in touch with him, and yes, I did manage to speak to him. He's doing okay, and for those wondering, Sheepish is still interested in doing edits, especially to the Phantom Menace. He's still working on stuff, but he's been hit by so many copyright strikes that I think he just sort of gave up for the time being on YouTube. I can't say I blame him. My time on YouTube has taught me how to cope with uploading and getting blocked and things like that. The one thing I've realized now, I have a better idea of what scenes I could shorten or cut out or change the aspect ratio for in order to combat copyright. But the other thing is, I've had to make peace long ago that this channel cannot be monetized, and that's absolutely fine. I think once I was starting to get a sizable subscriber count, I was thinking, how can I make this channel self-fulfilling, how can I, because a lot of these edits cost me a lot of money. They're very expensive because I've got to hire way more talented editors and VFX artists and voice actors and such. So I did monetize my channel, and I got the green light for a while, but then I guess they took another look and revoked it, and I can't say I blame them because of the amount of the amount of content, the copyright I've put on and things like that, and also the way I run my content. I appreciate there are ways for me to combat copyright, and one would be to perhaps talk about an edit before and after, or even during. And then another thing is to put like like myself in the corner watching my edit and pausing it and discussing it, or messing with the times or things like that. But in the end, I really don't want to bite the proverbial hand that feeds me. I don't want to try and appeal copyright, because the way things are currently with YouTube is they let me, most of the things I put on, like 90% of the edits I want to put out, they do let me upload them. It's just I can't monetize them, and I think that's a fair trade-off. I could, in theory, change the format of my edits in the vague hope that I can then apply for monetization again, but I don't want to do that to you guys. I think these past 11, 12 years I've been working on this channel, I think most people like the format. No narration, no step-by-step, blah, blah, blah. I just upload the edit. And maybe on occasion, I just give everyone what they want right from the off. But I do have other channels that I do want to monetize. And also, I think in a matter of streamlining, I think I'm going to keep things like this is the channel for editing. I've got another channel I'm working on for movie analysis and reviewing the films. And once that first edit's finally uploaded, perhaps you guys can come over and join it. It's the Grand Moff Talking channel. Yeah, I've got an editor working on some content for that at the moment, so it's fantastic. I think that's what I'm slowly realizing. Edits and video essays taking me far too long. Maybe it's my ADHD or dyslexia, I don't know, but I'm so behind on all my edits that in the end, I think the way to do it is I gotta hire people to do the brunt work so that I can just, it's just a matter of saving time. JX says that his time on YouTube is taught him how to get around copyright blocks. He literally just writes his description in a way that turns the edit into an analytical criticism. So if I have to, I can claim fair use. That's cool, man. And again, in theory, it would probably work for me too, but I've made peace with this just being a direct, content I can't claim. Especially if I'm using music from other movie soundtracks as well. But because I've had people like even my father say to me like, you've got nearly 20,000 subscribers. Why that you should really fight to monetize. But the thing is, I know it's for a lot of people they might think starting on another channel to create purely original content would feel like a step back, but not to me. Because even if let's say I copied every single upload in this channel and uploaded it and recycled it onto another one as like a backup, and then deleted everything from this channel but kept the subs, even though I'm starting off now with near 20,000 subscribers on a clean channel, the problem is, apart from losing the dates, the upload dates, who's to say the new channel wouldn't quickly overtake this current one? So again, it sounds great to give myself a 20,000 subscriber boost, but it's just not worth it. I've had this channel since the dawn of time. That's how I managed to be called SWStory. Before Disney even announced Rogue One. I came up with the name. No one had I wanted to make tribute videos more than edits. I wanted to make tribute videos of Star Wars. Literally Star Wars story, as in I'm showcasing the story. But then I started discovering other fan editors, like the K Cutter. I believe he was one of the first ones, if not the first one I saw. The K Cutter did some interesting things to Revenge of the Sith. He gave Anakin yellow eyes during his battle with Dooku. He gave Anakin Vader's lightsaber in Palpatine's office. He gave Vader alternative dialogue at the end of the film, making him no longer concerned for Padme. And whilst I don't agree with all these changes, they were really radical and they were just different, and I really liked them. So, yeah, he inspired me, and I don't know what my first fan edit was, but yeah, the rest is history. Phew, excuse me. Phew. Oh man, I've not been well. I've had COVID. That's the other thing. I just finished university. I went back to work. That's one of the first things I wanted to do as soon as I finished. I went back to working in schools because I needed some money. And I caught COVID. And I'm mostly over it now, but my lungs still feel kind of achy. Oh, thanks, Night Guy. It's nice to bless people when they sneeze. But yeah, I thought I would taste. I thought I would test live streaming because it's been so long since I've done it. A lot of people have been asking me, even on almost irrelevant videos, what's happening with the micro series? Is it still alive? when's the release date? All these questions, which are more than understandable. I am planning on making a Q&A live stream on for the Canon edition. Let me just speak the obvious, get it out of the way. The project is still ongoing. There's no way I'm cancelling that project. Even if it means the end of my channel. Even if I get hit with 1 million copyright claims and I get threatened with termination. I will, no matter what, I'm uploading the edit elsewhere to some fan edit channels. Especially since you guys have helped fund my channel and by extension the edit. I wouldn't just turn around and flee from that funding. No, you guys have invested in me because we have a shared passion. We want to bridge the 2D show to the 3D timeline because most of it is salvageable. And for a lot of us, and for a lot of people, it was their gateway into Star Wars. And for most people, it was the transition between Episode 2 and Episode 3, and it just worked. So yep, it's still ongoing. The release dates, I'm not falling into the trap of predicting one because there's nothing worse than having an idea and then not meeting that deadline. For instance, what's his name? Pixel Joker, a friend and a genius editor. I'm so hyped for his Kenobi edit. He put a potential release date, and then when that came and went, he had to put up a follow-up video saying, "Really sorry, it's still not ready." So I'm not falling into that trap. I know the canon edit seems not indifferent. What's the word? Never-ending, endless. I don't know. Infinite. I don't know. But no, it is. We are making some huge progress on it, and this all comes down to the new digital artists we hire. And again, in the last month, I've had 2 more artists join. One's a dear old friend, and the other is somebody who I can't mention because he works in the industry. And it would be a conflict of interest if he showed any affiliation to this edit. But he's invested in it. And I said to him, when he popped up saying, "Dude, I really want to work for you," I was like, "Are you kidding me? I've been wanting you since the beginning. You're the GOAT. You are like the #1 guy I thought would never be reachable." And yeah, he's on board. And funny enough, he's got COVID. Even though I've never met him in person. So, yeah, we're making huge strides, man. I'm so excited for some of these things we're going to pull off. So who knows, maybe in the next year or so, hopefully we'll be there, but fingers crossed. Brandon Tran says, don't know if you listen to requests for videos, but could you make a Grand Admiral Thrawn in Ahsoka edit, but he's voiced by AI Mark Thompson from Thrawn novels? That's interesting. I've never actually, I'm shamefully to admit, I've never listened to the Thrawn novels, and the reason why is because I think they're just really long and lengthy, and I've got like TikTok brain. I've got ADHD brain. Yeah, exactly, JX said, I gave this other guy a computer virus. And if he doesn't like it, he can megabyte my ass. Brandon, so I'm going to be honest. I've never been behind AI edits. I've always commissioned people to do them for me. And the funny thing is, it would probably be easy for me to learn and master, especially with like something like 11 Labs. But because I know people use it, including JX Editor, usually I ask them. But yeah, me myself, I don't usually I don't usually make them. And I think to do the Thrawn novels, what I would need is plenty of clean audio of those novels, and then take it from there. So, and the other guy I usually use, he's requested to take a break from AI because that's all he's done on his channel lately is AI this, AI that. He's done a lot. It's Crimson Mall actually. He's done a lot of AI work for the Flash, which I've also been a part of. I've never seen the Flash. I don't really know much about the lore or anything like that, but um, he likes the Flash, so I've helped him with a couple of edits. And he's just done a recent one where there was an original line in A New Hope where one of the Imperials refers to Vader as a Sith Lord, and I think this was revealed at one of the Star Wars. There's a Star Wars Celebration clip of the guy of this behind the scenes footage of a guy referring to Vader as Sith Lord, and Crimson Mall has reinserted it in the film flawlessly. But he said after that he wants to avoid AI for a while. So that's what we're doing. That's what he's doing, I should say. Yes, JX. I suppose we could source the audible dialogue of this Thrawn guy from the novels and do it. But again, from my end, I'm so behind with all my edits. I can't. Brandon, I can't see myself doing it, buddy. But there might be someone in this chat. I mean, I don't want to drop anyone in it, but if anyone works with AI, could help Brandon out. Yeah, it's a great idea. I'm not opposed to it. It's superb. Excuse me. Oh, that's a pleasant sound. Again, I'm mostly over COVID, but I'm just kind of run down at the moment. Oh man, ill as they come, poorly boy. Let me just. I'm just gonna get a drink quickly, guys. Uh, Speaking of that, Brandon, about AI, I got a story to tell you in a second. I'm not going to name names, but it's a difficult thing for me to process. Give me 1 second. Oh, I am a thirsty boy. Yeah, you know what? Let's talk about. I just want to talk to you about AI quickly. A lot of people over the past year or so, when AI was starting to, make its way into my channel, um, a lot of people told me to be careful with it. Um, because there's the legalities of it, and there's the moral quandary over it. And the thing is, I respect both schools of thoughts on it because, well, all schools of thoughts, I should say, because, yeah, making an actor say something they never said can be a piss take. Totally see that. Um, and also, people told me to be careful in case, my channel gets banned or something. But I've had to sort of rationalize it, and this is another reason why I never want to monetize this channel, because most, if not all, the content is built off the work of others. Even if it's something like changing the order of scenes in a movie. Those scenes themselves are comprised of lighting, sound, editing, directing, acting, score composing, all that jazz. So because I'm not gonna, claim monetization for their work, I'm also not gonna do it for AI work. There's even less reason to do it for AI work. But having said that, if you're wondering why I use AI on rare occasion, it's because I always admit when I use it. I always put it in the title and in the description. And again, I do not monetize or even try and trick people. So I think the technology's out there. It's and mainly I just use it for concepts. Frankly, I use it for concepts. And in that regard, as long as I'm declaring everything on the surface, I don't see how it's drastically different than re-editing a film. Because again, it's just taking something that doesn't belong to me and saying, "Hey guys, look, I'm using someone else's shit, but what do you think of this?" Or in an alternative universe, this is how it could have sounded. But there are other people online who just monetize AI. They upload videos of like Star Wars characters having conversations that never happened. And while those conversations are funny and entertaining, that is literally, they're getting free work of people who never did it, who never participated. So I do see the issue with there. Now recently, I uploaded an AI edit, and I'd also hired a voice artist to provide one or two lines that the AI couldn't do. And what I didn't realize at the time until long after it was uploaded is because I didn't communicate because I didn't communicate to the artist that their dialogue would be added to the end of an AI edit. Because I didn't communicate that, they were horrified to learn. Obviously they're against anyone using AI, I think, and they just they were furious because they kind of felt like tricked or hoodwinked or duped. So because I had no idea this is how they felt until I got this lengthy email about it, I was like, oh shit. So from that email, first thing I did was I deleted the video. Like I wasn't even even though they were kind enough to say you can have your money back for the commission you paid me, but don't contact me again regarding this. What I did was I deleted the video out of respect to them because I really do care about them, and I don't want anyone who works for me to have a bad experience, because I'm trying to sort of create a catalog of voice artists, and I hope to work with them frequently. So we had a good follow-up email, and it might be too early to cement this, but I think we're slowly we're building that bridge together again. I had a lot to learn from my end. I just honestly I didn't even think twice about AI and a voice artist sharing the same screen. Like again, I'm sort of like an outsider to this whole moral debate, so it obviously means a lot more to voice artists. So yeah, it's a tricky one. Darth Goob says, good to see a fellow fan editor live streaming. Keep up the good work, SWStory. Oh, dude, thank you, Goob. Thank you. I have never heard of you before, but that's changed. I'm going to check out your stuff, man. And if you join my server, which I've put in the description with an updated link, if you join my Discord server, there is a tab called self-promotion, where anyone can share their own fan edits or links to anything. It's like not an issue. Darth Goob says, in terms of AI, I tend to like using it to replace newly performed lines, especially how all those AI songs are made. Yeah, you know what? I'm very I'm kind of two minds about AI songs, because again, it's that whole moral debate of making an artist sing a song they probably didn't even know existed during their lifetime. Like, I've heard Frank Sinatra sing "Gangster's Paradise." It's it's really interesting and it's cool and it's. I'm glad I heard it, but it's like, at what cost? So it's yeah, man, it's tricky, but at the same time, it's like, if someone told me I had the option of listening to Frank Sinatra singing "Gangster's Paradise," I think my curiosity would be it would get the better of me. So there's that appeal. So again, there's no right or wrong answers. It's just only feelings, I feel. um, but yeah, if I can help it, I prefer using voice artists that are near identical to the voices than AI. And when it comes to the micro series, I think most of my cast are now, like, most of the characters have been recast by sound-alikes, either to the original micro series or to the live action characters or the 3D characters. So I've replaced most of them, but not all. So at the moment, the micro series is not 100% AI free yet. I've got some AI characters as placeholders, and if I can't find the right voice by the time of release, then my hands are tied. Because again, it's a non-profit uh, thing that I can't even, that I'm not going to sell anyway. So it's kind of like, no matter what, it's just going to be a fan-made idea, and it's just going to exist on the internet, but that's it. So we'll see. But at the moment, I think there's only two characters that are AI reliant, and every day I hope to replace them with either a voice actress or voice actor, or just archived TV or game audio that the characters have used. I think there's less of a problem by doing that, because if I'm using game dialogue, that's something they have already recorded and given out to the public now. I'm just repurposing it. But anyway. Albert Kleppin. Don't know if I've seen you before, my boy. Albert says, in terms... no, you didn't say that. You said, I know it could be tough to say, but how far along in the Clone Wars edit would you say your team is? 30%? 50%? 80%? No worries if it's hard to say. It is hard to say because I have an idea of what I want to accomplish, and each field is getting done but remarkably slow. But because I'm getting more people on it, it's like each section's sort of getting handled. Maybe 30% would be a fair guesstimate, you know? Let's say around 30% so far. But we got a lot of visuals. That's what's slowing this down the most. A lot of visual color corrections and frame by frame redesigns and new scenes. New scenes we're adding as well to sort of help pad out where in the timeline each chapter takes place. So let's say around, or maybe just below, but around 30%. King5942 says, hey, long time no speak. Yes, King5942, how are you? How are you, my friend? Long time friend, just like Nanny. I hope you're all doing well. It's Bank Holiday Monday here in Britain, I believe. So I hope everyone's having a nice 3-day weekend. Darth Goob says, I'm relatively... So relative... Yeah, I did say that right. Relatively new to fan editing. He's only been editing for a couple of years. I'm currently working on a fan edit of Star Wars Rebels on original trilogy. I assume he means originaltrilogy.com. And he's put Rebels Recut. That is interesting. Well, Darth Goob, if you have Discord, join my server, man. And there's a self-promotion tab where you can spam as much as you want in. As many as you like. You should share your stuff, totally. And if you don't use... for any editor out there, actually, if you don't use Discord, I highly recommend downloading it and giving it a try, because it's a really good and effective way of keeping in touch with people you may end up working with, whether it's VFX artists, digital artists, editors, animators, or performers. It's really helped me stay in touch. When I started the microseries canon edit, I never dreamt of sharing the workload. I was going to do it all myself. I was just going to cut out the parts that didn't make sense in the grand scheme of things. But then slowly the goal and ambition grew. I didn't want to just refine the footage. I wanted to color correct it. I wanted to add new footage. I wanted to correct some errors. And it became this amazing thing. And this, honestly, the microseries canon edit is definitely going to be this channel's swan song. It's magnum opus. You know, everyone has. I think every Star Wars fan editor has one that people will link it to theirs. You know, it's their identity. Like Pixel Joker's probably will always be Kenobi. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Hopefully, he does some radical changes to some other stuff. But yeah, Kenobi, the stuff he's done, that would be his following, and I think mine would be the microseries canon edit. Goob also says, Darth Goob says, it's a bit specific, but if you ever need new Sebulba dialogue for anything, I'd be happy to share my impression. I think it's pretty accurate, at least. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, Goob, if you've got Discord, join my server and DM me it. I don't usually respond to DMs unless it's about collaborating. But yeah, I'm always on the lookout for impressionists. I probably don't need a Sebulba thus far, I don't think. I do eventually plan on doing an edit to Phantom Menace. Well, actually, to all the main films after I do the Clone Wars microseries. And I am going to change some of Anakin's dialogue in Huttese. He's got to keep the language, but I'm going to change the subtitles. But I don't see a need to with Sebulba because, again, like the audio's fine. But I'd still love to hear your Sebulba. That'd be great. That'd be great. Can I do impressions? Yeah, I believe so. I could do Palpatine, I think. I could do a few Palpatines, and I'm gonna give it a try. Let me see what I can cook up. Let's see. Here are my... I'm going to show you my subtle Palpatine impressions. Let's give this a try. Just get into the character. This will be funny. I'll do Sam Witwer Palpatine first. I like his. This is, I think, the easiest to do. Here we go. Let me get a drink of water. Okay. What does Sam Witwer say? Lord Vader, have you dealt with the rebels in the Lothal system? And yet I sense in you something more to your victory. What else does he say? Are you certain? This could be a good opportunity we cannot let pass. Skywalker's apprentice can lead us to other lost Jedi. Perhaps, if he lives. Be patient, my old friend. For now. What does he say? Dispatch another Inquisitor to hunt them down. That's Sam Witwer. He has a very unique way of saying it, and even in oh, that's loud. In the Force Unleashed, he sounds different in the Force Unleashed. You hear like dual vocals going at the same time, which is hard to do without editing. But he goes, this is when he was early to the character. He was like, "You have forgotten your place, Lord Vader, by taking this boy as your apprentice. You have betrayed me. Now, you will destroy him." something like that. Or I will destroy you both. Strike him down and prove your loyalty to me. Yes, kill him, Lord Vader. I don't know. It's not great. It's fucking it's tragic. That's what it is. But the other Palpatines I love doing is Ian Abercrombie from the Clone Wars. This is I think I'm maybe okay. Here's Ian. What's he saying again? I am most impressed to see you have survived your injuries. How unfortunate you are attempting to deceive me. You have become a rival. Remember, the first and only rule of the Sith. There can only be two, and you are no longer my apprentice. You have been replaced. But then they did this really cool thing. They sort of phased him out to Tim Curry during the same episode at the end, and he's got a much deeper voice. Maybe my Tim Curry's the best. The other two are, those other ones are shit. I apologize. Tim Curry's though, he goes, he has this weird like gravelly like. Master Yoda has come to Moriband, although why, I do not know. We shall, however, take advantage of the situation. I need but a drop for the ritual to begin. Do not worry. I'm not going to kill you. I have other uses for you. But then his Palpatine sounds too deep. Really too deep. I'm not even going to attempt Ian McDiarmid's. He just, what's he say? I mean, the guy's the GOAT. He just says shit like, "You've done well, Lord Vader. And now I sense you wish to continue your search for young Skywalker. Patience, my friend. Soon the rebellion will be crushed and young Skywalker will be one of us." Can't really do him. He's too unique. Good. Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate feel. I don't know. Mine's just a. If I was ever to do my rendition, it'd probably be a mixed bag of everything. It would just sound like a straight parody. Lord Vader, have you dealt with the rebels in the Lothal system? And yet I sense in you something more to your victory. I don't know. Those are the only ones I can somewhat muster, but they're not great. That's why I typically don't even use myself as a voice actor, man, because I'm too much of a perfectionist. I want actual sound alikes. Let's see. Yeah, it's a weird one. I can't even pronounce your name, Link. I can't pronounce your name, my friend Link. But yeah. Technically, yeah, it is Korriban, but Lucas changed it in season 7 to Moriband, which is weird because I've always liked Korriban. Ooh, that's actually that's not a bad shout. I might do an AI edit. I might get someone to do a quick AI edit for me to call it Korriban. That's a great idea, Link. Superb. Let me see. I'm just gonna message my usual guy. Palpatine AI. Because I did one of Tim Curry correctly pronouncing Chancellor Valorum, because his pronunciation was Valorum, and I'm surprised no one corrected him. I don't mind even some people referring to Valorum as Valorum, but the same character has referred to him as the correct name in The Phantom Menace, so I just wanted to close that gap. What are the character? Whatever. You could pass as a solid sound alike for Sam Witwer Palpatine, I think. Oh, cheers, Goob. It's oh yeah, sorry. Let's see. Lying Kraylon. Is that how you pronounce it? Lying, or just Link? Kraylon or Crayon? No, Kraylon. Oh, okay. There was a Attack of the Clones tie-in game called The Clone Wars. It was part of the Clone Wars multimedia project. Yes, I'm ashamed to admit I never played it, but I have seen the cutscene. I've seen the cutscenes. And they're horrifying, I think. If it's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, I actually know Link Kraylon. Oh, well, it's a cool name, buddy. I never played the Link games, whatever they're called. Zelda, if that's what that's from. I assume it is because you're Icon. Darth Goob says you could pass as a good sound like for Sam Witwer Palpatine. Oh, that's kind, dude. Thank you. Yeah, I actually know 2 people on Discord whose names escape me, unfortunately, but they do amazing Sam Witwers. But I've only heard them do Sam Witwer as Darth Maul. But I assume they could do Palpatine. But Sam Witwer... Have I played Galactic Battlegrounds? Many years ago. That was a great game, Link. I loved Galactic Battlegrounds. And when I get a better computer, one that doesn't crap out on me every 5 seconds, I will replay that. But I never had the prequel pack. It had the Phantom Menace and the original trilogy, but it never had the clone stuff. And obviously Revenge of the Sith hadn't come out yet. But yeah, I'd love to play that game again. It was so much fun. Have you seen Shabby Blue Artworks? I can't say I have. That does not ring a bell, my friend. Link also says it wasn't Lucas, but Dave Filoni renamed it to Moraband. I mean, Dave was behind the wheel, but I genuinely... I imagine Lucas told him to, or requested it, or suggested it. In fact, Lucas was still working with Filoni when he wrote that, I believe. I could be wrong. Actually, I may be wrong. But either way, I think it was Lucas's influence at the very least. But I could be wrong. I've not played Atomic Heart, but I've seen the cutscene everyone's seen of the metallic woman with those legs. I've not played the 2003 Clone Wars game, I'm ashamed to admit. Are Sleepers reference to A New Hope? I don't know what you mean by Sleepers, my friend. Don't know who that is. Sam Witwer Palpatine. Yeah, I always do that with my friend Crimson. And yet I sense something more to your victory. This is an opportunity we cannot let pass. Skywalker's apprentice could lead us to other lost Jedi. Can you do voices from Kota games? You know what? I'm really embarrassed to admit I never played any of the Kota games. That's like a huge chunk of Star Wars I'm missing. And no matter how many YouTube videos I've watched on like who was Malak, who was Scion, who was Kreia, no matter how many I watch, it just doesn't stay in my brain like as compared to watching the live action films. So I'm very clueless. I've played some of the Lego Star Wars games, but I'm very behind on my games. I need to finish Jedi Survivor. I'm on the last mission against the boss, but he's too powerful, and I've already nerfed myself twice. Sorry, nerfed him twice. So I'm going around completing the maps 100%, just so I can get all the power I can. Oh, Link. Slippers. That's what we call them. We call them slippers, my friend. Let's see. There you go. I've replied. Yes, slippers. Yes, so yeah. Tarkin slippers. Yes, it is a direct reference to A New Hope because, as some of you may not know, Peter Cushing, the guy who portrayed Tarkin, for close-up shots, he did not want to wear the boots because they were uncomfortable to wear, so he wore slippers. And it's yeah, that was a nice piece of trivia I wanted to carry over for my avatar. Oh man, this takes it out of me, all this talking. I may go soon in about 10 because my throat's killing. I still haven't fully recovered from COVID, but I just thought I'd test the waters, and I'm glad we've had a nice turnout tonight. Link is from the Ukraine, and people here really never hated the prequels. In Russia and Eastern Europe overall, the prequels sometimes even more than the originals. Yeah, it's a weird one. It's strange. Like, look, I try and look at each Star Wars film subjectively, not even as a fan, but just as a fan of film rather than a hardcore Star Wars fan that knows every inch of comic, video game, TV show, spin-off, movie, cartoons, any lore, you know. So whenever I look at the Star Wars films, I don't see them as films for the hardcore fans. They're films for the more general fans, cinema goers that may not even know what a Star Wars is, and that's fine. That's how the first one was, and that's how you got to keep it. Yeah, even though the sequels are flawed and faulty and under different ownership, I do think I find it surprising how hostile people are towards the sequels, even though people were just as hostile to the prequels. And look where we are 25 years is it since? It's kind of hypocritical. Don't get me wrong, you know, there's plenty wrong with the sequels, but there's also some flaws with the prequels. But the point is, like, you got to give these things a chance. Try looking at it from the other end. Let's see. Devon says, "Hey, Story, do you think we could voice chat or stream on Discord and catch up?" I don't know when I'm next doing my Discord thing. I've got a couple of things I got to sort out first. But once I have an idea of what I can showcase or what I can do, then I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'll start hosting those events again in the Discord server. For those that have donated to my channel, they get access to behind-the-scenes discussions and ideas. If you're asking for a one-to-one voice chat, I'm sorry, I don't do that with anyone unless, you know, if I can help it. It's just I always get uncomfortable on those things. Nothing personal. It's just how I am. It's how I'm built. You know, I'm definitely neurodivergent. No question. In fact, I've even got that written on a paper somewhere, which it was kind of a blow, but I'm kind of like dealing with that shit. Let's see. King5942 says, "Sorry I'm late. Conversation with my folks. So much has happened since we chatted. Has the Phantom Menace release come to the UK? I went to it a few weeks ago. I believe it has, but I've not seen it. I should really, because I remember seeing Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith in cinema, but not the Phantom Menace. So I should go rewatch it, even though I've seen it a million times." Link says, "Sequels won't be loved. Sequels to something like Holiday Special." Yeah, but the holiday specials are loved now, you know, despite their faults, because of their faults. Again, it's just a matter of allowing time to pass. It's like comedy is tragedy plus time, you know. Dr. Mad Student says, "Do you have COVID? Do you have COVID? To me, having flu type A is worse. I lost my mum to it back in January of this year as a result of her COPD." Oh, dude. I'm really sorry to hear that. That's horrible. I can't even begin to imagine your pain. That's horrendous. I'm I'm really sorry. My condolences. I really mean that. I just lost someone. I don't know if it was last week technically, or it was either last week or the week before, and it was just sudden, out of nowhere. My throat's killing me. But the thing is, I was so ill at the time that I sort of skipped the grieving portion because I just had no energy in my body to react. You know, it was just news to me. I did love the guy though. But anyway, I'm not trying to make this into a pity party or I'm not trying to one up you or anything like that. I swear. But like, the point is, I appreciate what you're going through, man, and it is going to be okay. Obviously, I think yours is more extreme, and it's gonna be really difficult. But the fact that you're even here online, joining our live stream, and you know, and if you look at the window next to Grand Moff Tarkin, the world keeps spinning, you know, and you'll slowly realize that it does, and that's okay. It just takes time, buddy. But you know, I think one thing about this community, especially my channel's community within the Star Wars community, most of us are quite wholesome and we really care for one another, and that's another reason why I enjoy, like, I barely go on my own Discord, but I like the idea that people can interact with each other on it and talk about anything, Star Wars or not. So I really appreciate you sharing. That was brave, that was bold, and my heart goes to you, Dr. Mad Studio. It really does. My throat's fucking killing. Oh, no matter how much I drink. I'm drinking water, by the way. Devon Hassan says, speaking of Peter Cushing, me and my friend of mine will be making a what if video of what if Peter Cushing movies continued. If you're interested in story, the YouTube channel is called Type 40 Productions. That's actually a pretty cool name. I like that, Type 40 Productions. It's easy enough to remember. I'll keep it, you know, look, I'm not a Doctor Who guy. I assume it's Doctor Who related, but yeah. But, you know, dude, share that in the Discord. Share that in the Discord, man. Link says people have totally forgot about COVID when the war started. Yeah, it's weird. Like, when I came down with flu, I assumed it was because I was just working back in the schools. And then when I did a COVID test, like someone recommended... Excuse me, I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm gonna have to cut this short in a minute. When someone recommended a COVID test, and I was like, "Is that still a?" So when someone recommended COVID, I was like, "What, is that still a thing?" And I took it, and it took about one minute before I got a positive, and I thought, "Wow, that's wow," and it was horrible. I had headaches, I had sweats. I was just wiped out for a week, and I'm just coming out of the end of it now. Ugh. King5942 says, when are you doing your next live stream chat? We need to catch up sometime when you're available for any day. So at some point I will do a Clone Wars Q&A on YouTube for the more public, like for the more general subscriber who perhaps hasn't donated, but you know, my subscribers want to know what's going on. But if you're asking about the exclusive chats we have in Discord, for those that have donated to the channel, support the channel, I don't know yet, my friend. I've got a lot on, including I got a trip. I've got a trip this weekend. I've got a wedding coming up. 3 weddings coming up actually, and a funeral, and a graduation. So we'll, regarding the live stream on YouTube or Discord, I'll give plenty of notice to both. Either on Discord, I'll announce when, and on YouTube, I'll put it in the community tab. So keep a weather eye. But I appreciate you wanting to keep up to date. King5942 says, "Hey, are you going to Star Wars Celebration this year?" No. I've only been to Celebration twice, and both times were when it was in the UK. It's just easier for me, and I don't really have the money to do it. So that's not happening, and I'm okay with that. I met some amazing people at Celebration, though. I had a nice conversation with Ashley Eckstein. She complimented my motion capture suit, and I attempted to compliment her Ahsoka hair, but I forgot the word hair, so that got awkward. I met Anthony Daniels, really nice guy. I know it sounds like I'm misremembering or being dickheaded, but he generally picked me out of the crowd because I was the only one at the convention, I think, wearing a motion capture costume. And he'd apparently just done work himself in mocap, so I think that's why he was excited. And I got an autograph from him, which was sweet. Met Ian McDiarmid there. I have a signed lemon ornament, which is an in-joke between us because I went to see his live play called The Lemon Table. And Andy Serkis, Matthew Wood. He's a really nice guy, Matthew Wood. And James Arnold Taylor. He was great. He was superb. Dr. Mad Studio says, "My thoughts on the sequels are very mixed. Some things I like and some I didn't. At the end of the day, Star Wars means something different to everyone." 100% agree. That is exactly the case, and people need to realise that. I think people hold the sequels to an unfair scrutiny, though, that they never did to the prequels. Because, and I'm going to eventually make a video on this, but I don't think Rey was a Mary Sue in The Force Awakens. I think she was only a Mary Sue in The Last Jedi. And if you, and I know if you're thinking, well, hang on, The Last Jedi takes place literally, the same day as the final scene in The Force Awakens? The thing is, if you're using The Last Jedi to add to her being a Mary Sue in The Force Awakens, then I have the ability to use The Rise of Skywalker and say, oh no, she's a Palpatine, and undoing a lot of that shit. But if we're looking at these films individually, I think most, if not all, her skills are explained away in The Force Awakens. Even if it's not explained well, it is. They do give descriptions as to how it's happening, and it's also explained in Rise of Skywalker. The only time I see it as a weird, skill issue is The Last Jedi, where Rey isn't even trained by Luke, and yet she's able to have a sword fight with these highly elite guards, and then then sort of best Kylo for a second time in a row. That's what I think's fucked up. The Resistance lose at the end of that film, and yet they treat it like a victory, and Rey saves everyone in the ship and lifts an entire mountain single-handedly. Pardon the pun. That's the point. I think that middle film was her real opportunity to show failure and flaws, shit she could learn from, and they didn't. Studio says, I managed to avoid catching COVID for 3 years until last year, but honestly, the flu type A was a real killer. It lasted for weeks. I was unable to work and spend most of the time in bed. It's horrible, man. Yeah. Not to mention, he then caught laryngitis, and even after it gone, he had to wait several weeks just to get his voice back. Yeah, that's horrible, dude. I feel like flus and symptoms and viruses are becoming more sophisticated because we as humans combat them with medicine. Because a virus's job is to survive and grow and spread, so it finds new ways and it's fucked. I think eventually a virus will become a visible thing. I think eventually we'll actually be able to see it with our eyes. That's how fucked up I think it'll get. Hang on. Computer's about to die. Ooh, let's see. Let's see, I've been to 2 so far this year. Wales Comic Con, then Comic Con Liverpool. Next one will be Stoke-on-Trent Comic Con. Stoke-on-Trent. I like that. That's a good pun. June 16th. That's cool, Dr. Mad Studio. So I take it, are you a British resident like myself? Hey, Joe Hogan Art. Wow. This guy is... Joe Hogan's done some amazing... things. I've been a fan of his for a while actually. He's done some amazing Star Wars shit, man. Good to see you, Joe. How are you feeling, man? You under the weather, weren't you as well? But anyway, hope you feel well, buddy. Good to have you. You know what's funny, Dr. Mad Studio? I was in Liverpool on the day of the con, but I just didn't. I didn't go. I was attending something else. But yeah, you keep going to conventions, man. Keep your mind on more positive things. Oh, cool. You live in Merseyside. Yeah, that's cool, man. You know what's funny, Dr. Mad Studio? Now, this may no longer be the case because I haven't been there in years. But if you ever go to the Liverpool Museum, where they have the Beatles Museum. I believe last time I went there, and this was when I was a kid, so they may have changed it. They played audio of the Beatles being interviewed when their manager died, and that was my grandfather, who's still alive, bless him, interviewing them. He was interviewing them on the death of their manager, and they actually played his audio in the museum. So if you ever go there again and you hear that interview, and it's also on YouTube, by the way, that's my grandfather interviewing them. He's a journalist. Excuse me. Excuse me. Joe Hogan says, it is sexy in here. Just pop in and say hi. Well, dude, you're bringing sexy back. Oh, I'm not even going to bother singing. I hope you're okay, buddy. King5942 says, then behind their tables... Oh, wait, hang on. What's he put? In FanX last year, I was going to see Matt Lantner, James Donald Taylor, and Ashley Eckstein, but unfortunately, they ditched me. I stood in front of Ashley's table saddened, and there was a cookie saved for her. She didn't take it. Your head was down saddened. Then behind their tables, Yuri Lowenthal of Ben 10 Alien Force and the PS5 Spider-Man is there. And you chatted with him about the new PS5 Spider-Man 2 game. Yep, he's still a nice guy. That's cool, man. Good for you, buddy. Yeah, it's a tricky one, man. Like I don't know how FanX works in Star Wars Celebration. Oh, cheers, night guy. In Star Wars Celebration, we had to pay to meet these celebrities and get their autograph or their photos. So if you're going down the free version, which is totally fine, by the way, it might be their time might be limited. You know, they're less contractually obligated. It sucks, but it's one of those. I'm sure it wasn't personal. When I went to Celebration London last year, I met Mads Mikkelsen because I'm a big Hannibal fan. I love the Hannibal TV show, and I think Mads is a fantastic actor. And I was next to see him, and then suddenly he got up because he had to go take photos, and I was like stood in the line feeling like an idiot. But then eventually he came back, and he was such a nice guy, and he signed this unique Blu-ray box set I purchased where I combined all 3 Hannibal series into it. So I'm the only person in the world with a 3-seasoned box, a 12-disc box, I should say, of all the Hannibal TV shows, signed by Mads Mikkelsen, and I love that shit. Dr. Stewart says his late granddad was in the national service in South Korea during the Korean War in the early 50s. Wow. And while over there, he saw Marilyn Monroe performing on stage. Dude, that's amazing. That's something you don't forget. That's pretty epic, man. Dr. Matt says Warwick Davis was the first guest he ever met. This was at the MCM Manchester Comic Con in 2013, 11 years later. Oh, good, you got the con. You've got the con bug now. You love going to Comic Cons. That's cool, buddy. That's nice. Yeah, it's you know, it's funny, when I went to the Comic Con last year, I didn't see Warwick, but I saw his son talking. His son was stood outside a hotel speaking to like a 4x4 car really high up, so he was looking through the window. So I assume his son was speaking to his dad, but I didn't want to eavesdrop, so we left him to it. King 5942 says, also, have you seen X-Men 97? And the Spider-Man movies are getting re-released in August in the UK. Are you going to those? No to the first, no to the second. I enjoy the Spider-Man movies, but not enough to re-watch them in the cinema, especially since I'm broke. I need to work. I did begin working, but then I got COVID. I've not seen 97 because I never really watched the other X-Men. I was too young, I think. Well, not too young, but I missed the boat. So, yeah, no, I've not watched them, but I've heard good things. I've heard the results, you know, the things are great. The reviews are good. I think I'm going to go in about 4 minutes, I think. 4 minutes, my friends. Oh, don't worry about it, King. 'Tis the way of life. As soon as I'm better, I'm going to carry on working. I'm going to carry on working. I'm going to fund the micro-series, and I'm gonna get this edit finished. But yeah, it's been really nice coming back, guys, and the response from you has been great, and I really appreciate you guys sharing. So yeah, if you want to help the channel out, spread the word. You know, share those videos in the micro-series playlist, and check out the latest uploads we've done. I've done a Kit Fisto one that seems to be doing well at the moment. Besides that, not really much to report. But listen, I hope you all have a blessed rest of the week, whether you're religious or not, whether you've experienced love or loss, whether things are going great or if you're in your own personal hell at the moment. Either way, you ain't alone, and you will be okay. You need to just remember that. There are things you can do, mental exercises that strengthen your resolve. I believe in each and every one of you. Dr. Matt Studio says, speaking of money, I only attend conventions close to home. Travelling anywhere these days by road or rail is not cheap, and this cost of living doesn't help either. To respond to that, Dr. Matt Studio, you know what I've just discovered recently is, I can't believe I'm late to this, National Express Cheapest way to travel across the country I've ever used. It's fantastic. So I often travel between Manchester and North Wales. Usually, if I'm splitting tickets on the train and I'm getting advanced ones with my rail card, I'm looking at about maybe £10, £16 if I'm lucky. National Express, in which, by the way, you can take a massive fucking suitcase with you and it's not a problem. £7. It cost me £7 to get back to Manchester from Wales today. I'm using this thing all the time now. It's superb. It takes longer by like an hour or so, but it's worth it. Absolutely worth it. So yeah, dude, if you want to travel around the country, look into National Express. That's my advice. Joe Hogan Art says, I am so psyched to see the Micro Series edit. Been following you for years, dude. Very excited. You guys are doing great. Joe Hogan, you are amazing. I've been following your career as well since day dot, and in a lot of ways you inspired me for some of the more radical changes for the Micro Series, so I want you to know that. I really do. You are the GOAT. You're amazing. I really appreciate that, buddy. Stoke-on-Trent is probably the furthest convention you're ever going to. Well, dude, best of luck. Keep going to those. Find purpose in life, even if it's just even if it's just going for a walk. I've started speaking to a therapist, and you know what she recommends? She recommends every night writing one positive that you've achieved in the day, even if it's minuscule. Because what you do is the more you write daily, you create these webs in your brain, so that when you despair or spiral or get anxious, there'll be a part of you that goes, hang on. I remember. I've got a better idea of some positives. I am stronger than I think because I've been writing every day and it's reminded me of this. So that's what you got to do. You got to plant these mental flags, man. People work out. They work on their body. They go for walks. They lift weights, but we don't focus on our brains enough. So you got to work your brain out by doing these positive exercises. King5942 says, I hope you make it through COVID. Really want to talk to you more through live stream chats because you were busy and free. No, of course, man. I appreciate your patience, you know. I'm glad you guys haven't given up on me or the channel. Great things are work, down the pipeline, man. It's super. But yeah, at some point, once I get all my shit and my health sorted, I'm gonna return to Discord more frequently, and we'll begin those catch-ups again. Right, guys. You know what? Sod it. I'll do 2 more minutes because even though it's 20 past midnight at my time, I've only been doing the live stream for 1 hour 18. So let's round it up to 1 hour 20. So if you've got any last minute comments, now's the time to write them. And I think they take about 30 seconds to service. So, but apart from that, guys, you have been absolutely amazing. It's nice to be back. What a lovely turnout. And stay tuned. Because we've got some great surprises and reveals and concepts coming out. Both micro series styled and other Star Wars films. King5942 says he's surprised Anakin used a red lightsaber. Dude, I love that. I love that. And if I, when I finally get around to Revenge of the Sith, my edit, I'm going to give Anakin a red lightsaber too. Just to show everything comes full circle between how he was at the start and how he was at the end. So he has literally become Dooku in a lot of ways. That'll be for my fan edit. Other people have already changed Anakin's red lightsaber red in Revenge of the Sith. It's on YouTube, you should check it out. There's some clean versions. Speaking of which, there's a really cool fan edit that's just come out the other day. It's called Star Wars The Final Cut. I forget the uploader's name, but what he's done is he's combined the best clips from the special editions, like the Disney Plus special editions and the 4K 77s, and he's basically done the best of both worlds between the theatrical release and the latest special editions for the original trilogy. A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and he's done very few but amazing additional changes, and one of them is he makes Hayden Christensen's ghost in Return of the Jedi older. So it's still Hayden, but he looks like the more appropriate age, and I'm thinking that is such a great compromise. So you need to check out, and I put it in my community post recently. He's even done an hour-long video on all the changes, so check it out. My friends, love you lots. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great rest of the week. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay lucky. Get some damn sleep. Latest, guys.